Welcome back to Fine Art Diary. Today we are going to do this beautiful abstract and you can see it is going to be very interesting. So before doing anything, let's check the materials I am going to use today. This is a sheet made of cocoa coir. I found it in a shop where they were making handcrafted lights and I found it very interesting. You can see the texture is very random. Then also it is having a kind of uniformity. So here I am going to use this for my textures. And without the help of the gesso, I will not be able to create the texture. So this is a very important ingredient for texture. As you know, this is my favorite spatula to spread the gesso all over the canvas. Very often I use this comb to create some interesting patterns. Apart from these materials, I am going to use these pigments and the brands I am using over here are Schminke, Sennelier and Citius pigments. Also these brushes are going to be very helpful. So let's begin the painting. This is a 24 inch by 24 inch 10 ounce canvas stuck on a board. Like all my paintings, I will start with the gesso. As we all know that gesso is having a paste-like density which can hold the shape of the texture. So very randomly, let's spread the gesso all over the surface. So far, in this stage, I am not thinking about anything, just enjoying the process. Now let's put the cocoa sheet in this particular corner, though till now the composition is not decided, but intuitionally I am just starting from this particular area. Also giving some marks with the spatula, and you can see how different these marks are. Now let's use a comb again to make it different. That's alright. Now let's check the texture in this particular area. And you can see how interesting this area is. I am very much tempted to do similar kind of texture in this corner also. So the thing is, your decision has to be very spontaneous. Alright, now let's check some close-ups. This area is out of the cocoa coir. You can see this is random, but still rhythm is there in it. The result is totally unexpected. This was the first time I was using this cocoa coir. Here it is out of the spatula, and you can see it is nicely blended with the previous texture. Now the surface is completely dry and we are going to make some structural shapes around the canvas. Coming back to my concept, making it and breaking it. So in the beginning, I started with some random textures and now I am making some constructive lines. So first of all, making a circle in this area. Also, I need some curves as well as some straight lines. So the concept is we need variation in texture, we need variation in lines, we need variation in hues, and then only the final output will look harmonious. I will also add some smaller random lines. These are not only the guidelines, but all these elements are the parts of the painting. This is a water-soluble graphite stick I am using for my drawing. It can be diluted by the water and can create beautiful effects. Here I have added couple of more lines. Now let's add pigments on it. This particular color is called Caput Mortuum. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So I will add here and there a little bit. Also adding Prussian blue to it. Before starting of this painting, one thing was in my mind, that was the output will be desaturated cool grey kind of color, and keeping that in mind I am choosing my pigments. Now let's add green earth to it. My next pigment is Savannah Ochre. Alright, now it's time to add acrylic gloss medium, which is going to work as a binder for the pigments. So this is going to hold the pigments on the canvas. You can see I am using blue, green, yellow, all these colors, but these are all desaturated. So definitely I am going to get a chromatic grey color in this case. Now let's add moisture to it so that we can mix all the pigments on the canvas itself. Here you can notice one thing, that first I am mixing the lighter pigments and then gradually I will go towards the darker pigments. In this way I don't have to clean my brush again and again. And with the same brush you will be able to work throughout the canvas. Once again, coming back to my concept, first we started with very random textures, then secondly we added some construction lines. That means we are making things constructing, and in this stage again we are breaking everything, mixing together. So like this we'll move forward. I'm done with this stage and I will let it dry for some time. Alright, now the painting is completely dry. My next step is to increase some of the darker areas in this painting. So for that I have mixed paints grey, Prussian blue and raw sienna. And once again, before applying the paint, I will moist the canvas. Let's apply the paint. Once again, I will let it dry for some time. Alright, the surface is dry and my next step is to add lights to the canvas. Over here, I am using titanium white. I am going to do the same in a few places. Now this is the time to add some tiny details. Whatever textures we have created, I am exaggerating it. The darker areas, I am making it more darker. The lighter areas, I am making it more lighter. Now let's create some shapes here and there. Same darker mixture I am using over here. For my next step, I am going to use unbleached titanium and brown ochre. and let's mix it together. Here you can see I have taken random paper cuttings and I wanted to make some random shapes, and let's use it as stencil using the same color mixture what we just have prepared. This process can be useful if we want to make some hard edges. Let's make another shape. And here another one. And here also, like the previous one, I am exaggerating the darks and the lighter areas. This is going to be the focal point of this painting, so I am going to add more marks in this area. Whatever marks I am creating over here, these are all spontaneous and the painting itself is telling me what next to do. All these marks are abstract marks and we are towards the end of this painting. Let's add some last few lines. Alright, I am done with this painting and let's check some close-ups. Hope you enjoyed today's session and don't forget to subscribe the channel because many more tutorials are coming in future. Thank you very much for watching.